it's Chris Doucher for GeekNerdNet.com. I'm at the inaugural Fan Expo San Francisco, and I'm super excited to be joined by Chris Campana. Hello, Chris.
What's happening?
Well, just comic goodness and all that nerdy stuff as you do a really cool commission that I woefully got wrong earlier. It looks awesome.
It was in the scribble phase, so I won't hold it against you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I want to talk to you about your work. Let's say for those that don't know your history, talk a bit about when you got in. It doesn't have to be a long answer, your call, but talk about when you got into the industry and comics and kind of where you started and where you are.
Well, I started, I'm just giving up the age immediately. I started back in '97 with Caliber Comics, and then I took 14 years away from comics because I had a kid and raising the kid and all that kind of stuff, and got back in about 12 years ago.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
I still drew, but I wasn't working in comics.
Right. And when I came up before we started recording, you're chatting. Obviously, I overheard you're a big Masters of the Universe fan. I see your piece right in front of me now. It's fucking gorgeous. I'll just be blunt. I was a huge, still am a huge fan growing up, and talk. And now I'm looking at your book too, and I see Lionel and Thundercats, and we're the same vintage, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. So just talk about that passion and having that come out in your work and being able to do those properties.
So for me, it all started with sword and sorcery stuff, Masters of the Universe, Frank Frazetta, all that stuff. To get to work on it professionally is a dream, but also incredibly intimidating. Because you start to think, is your stuff going to look like the things that you grew up loving that made you want to start in the first place?
So how is and then do you have to kind of push that self-doubt? Obviously you do to get the work done, but had it ever sort of stopped you for a bit where you're like, I got to walk away for a day and get back to this tomorrow kind of thing?
Yeah, I've absolutely had moments where I was fighting myself at the table and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And that's the art thing, every one of us is a little bit insecure, in some way with something. And this was just sort of fighting my own inner child to try to be like, there's a reason why you got hired. Just draw the damn thing. You got bills to pay.
Nice. And then you mentioned Frank Frazetta. Obviously you've got the Death Dealer stuff here that you did. That must have been a kind of a cool ride for you to do.
Doing anything Frazetta is absolutely, some people say, and I love Spidey, I love Marvel DC stuff, but doing something Frazetta is an absolute sort of career benchmark kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I was 10 years old when I first saw Fire and Ice, which, if you've seen Fire and Ice, I probably should have been older than 10 to see it. But, that was not the case.
That just went over my head for a second. I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, Tigra is not 10-year-old friendly.
Yeah.
So, my parents didn't know, that the cover, the VHS cassette, my God, I'm a dinosaur, was a drawing, was a painting.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, it's a cool cartoon to keep my kid quiet for a couple of hours. Little did they know, I've only liked brunettes since. So, it was all their fault.
So you come to a show jump for a sec. You come to a show like Fan Expo San Fran, their first one. How's I think the reception was pretty good. I've seen some of your commissions already, your commission work. Talk a bit about this show, and it sounds like a canned question, but I want to ask it. So,
well, this is going to sound so sort of, I don't know, but so I'm 10 years old. I want to be an artist. I take 14 years off when I'm 21. And I get to come back and I get to be an artist full time. I get to take care of my family with art. And I get to come to a Comic-Con and make money and have conversations because of the art and because of the things I grew up, loving. Is it hard work? Yeah. But even when shows are slow or shows are bad, I'm still at a Comic-Con, getting to talk to people who are spending their hard-earned money and choosing to stop by my table.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if that's the worst, that's okay.
It's a pretty awesome, just shot in the arm compliment of all the work you put into it, right?
Yeah, I it's always weird, you know, calling people fans and stuff like that, because I don't know how I really feel about that word.
Yeah.
But it's cool to meet people who share similar interests and, you know, gravitate towards the work, and, you know, we're both happy at the end of it. They come away with something hopefully they like, and I get to pay some bills and, you know, get a sandwich. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We're chatting, obviously, before we recorded, we're talking about the Ringo Awards you're nominated for, and they were both in the same year for The Adventures of Parker Reef.
Yes.
You know, give a bit of insight on that. I mean, I just learned about it as we were chatting here, so thank you for sharing. Yeah, feel free to share whatever you like here.
Well, the first thing, like, Ringo Awards is insane. Like, Michael Ringo is one of my top artists. I mean, I remember back in Orlando, I want to say it was like late 90s when the first time I saw Telos. And I knew Todd DeZaga was writing Spidey. I knew Ringo's work from Spidey and some Fantastic Four and stuff. When I saw that book, I lost my mind. Because, like, Ringo, I think, was ahead of his time as an artist. He had that clean, really, like, cartoony but realistic style, which a lot of people have since sort of copied in a way.
Right.
So fast forward to getting to do a book about a terrible thing that occurred in my life, and then having it recognized by my peers and being, you know, nominated for Best Writer, Best Artist for it. Again, it's just one of those things that kind of makes you feel like you're on the right path of doing stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what, you know, if you know what Adventures of Park Reef is about, then you know that getting nominated for a book like that, although really, really great, is also getting nominated for a book about the worst absolute thing that could happen to somebody. So it's a weird thing. You're getting recognized in a field that you've wanted to be in forever for something that absolutely crushes your soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, thank you so much for, you know, recognizing what I'm doing. But holy cow, I wish it was for anything but this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right.
So,
Wow, man.
yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. On the, you know, since then, since that came out and you had that going, do you have other works on the go that are personal passion projects for you? Like, sorry, passion projects, I'm wrong. I didn't mean to put it like that. I just meant just other personal projects that you want to get out there.
I like doing creator-owned stuff. I started out doing creator-owned stuff. Even when I was doing, you know, mainstream, I kind of came up at the perfect time because Image was just happening, and it seemed like it was the first time you didn't need Marvel or DC to succeed as an artist, so you didn't have to define yourself just by the big two.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to do, no matter what series I'm on or what I'm working on, I will always do some kind of creator-owned stuff.
Yeah.
I tend to gravitate towards sword and sorcery because of the Frazetta and the He-Man thing.
Yeah.
But currently, good problem to have. I don't have time to work on any of my own stuff because I've been lucky enough to have other people trust me to ruin their projects for them.
So humble.
Yeah, you know, thank you so much for asking me to do this project and make it look like garbage for you and not just mess up my own stuff. So I'm kind of lucky that way, where right now I'm working on a few different projects. One is called Monsterwood, which is this really cool sort of sword and sorcery based thing, but it has like a sort of like a Mayan sort of Indiana Jones kind of thing going on about it too. But it's got this mystical stuff. It's a really fun book to draw. That's like a 68 page graphic novel that I'm working on. The other project, I cannot tell you what it is, but it's with I can say it's with thankfully one of the biggest names that has been in this industry for the past 25 years. So that's very flattering.
That's cool, man.
I don't know when they're going to announce that, but the contract has been signed, so we're good with that. And just did a Spawn cover.
Awesome. Yeah.
My first Spawn cover, which is flattering.
Yeah. How's that process? Is it a back and forth to Todd, or is it someone else?
So it was Images doing this thing, and I think along with DC because of the Spawn Batman thing that's coming out.
Yep.
So they're doing this sort of Spawn month. And a friend of mine, Erica Schultz, has this really great book called The Deadliest Bouquet. And she contacted me, and she was like, hey, do you want to draw Spawn for Image? And I was like, yeah. And I got to do a cover of a crossover with her book and Spawn. So basically I worked with her and her editor on it. I didn't get a chance to talk to Todd himself, but I will say that I will absolutely tell everyone in the world that I am now a Spawn artist. Because I got to draw it once for a published thing. So
nice.
Right now I'm only Chris Campana, Spawn artist, and nothing else.
Nice.
That's it.
Oh, well, this really ruins my next question. So when does the other book you mentioned, the original graphic novel, when's that? When are you slated for that to come out? Or?
So I have 38 pages left on that thing because the writer's been really great about extending my deadline because I've gotten so busy with doing Turtles covers, with doing Frazetta stuff, with doing the Spawn cover. I got a cover coming out for Rogue Sun with Ryan Parrott. I did the cover for I think issue 11 or 12 from Image Comics. There's been a ton of stuff that the last year and a half has just all of a sudden come out of nowhere. Multiple Turtle covers, all this sorts of stuff. So I can't say what the release date is on that.
Yeah.
But I'm slated to have my pencils done probably towards the end of January.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I said I would be done.
Cool. Nice, man. Well, listen, Chris Campana, man, thanks for taking the time.
Of course. Thank you for not asking me questions about this drawing that I'm currently messing up in front of you.
I don't know how to respond. It looks amazing. No, seriously, thanks, man.
Of course, man. Thank you so much.